And welcome to everyone. Thank you guys so much for tuning in with Mondays with the Maverick. I am Jessica D. Sanders. I'm the CEO of King Vision Publishing. We are a one-stop shop for all of your book publishing needs. We have worked with authors all across the world, 37 states, 3 countries. We have over 550 books under our belt, and we are still counting. And so we get to publish some of the most amazing people ever. And one of them happens to be, and I said this in the status that I made today, the world changer, Shalicia Torbert. So if you would, can y'all drop those hand clapping emojis, give us a little celebration. I'm gonna get a streamer the next time I have you on so I could just make it sprinkle up in here for you. Shalicia, how has your day been? Let's start there.
Friday has been amazing. Monday has been amazing. It's the start of a new week, the start of a new journey.
Do you even like Mondays, or are you more of like a Friday girl?
I am, well, I mean, who's a Monday person?
I am, strangely enough. I love Mondays.
Really? Okay.
Yes.
I'm a Friday girl.
You a Friday girl.
Yes. I like Mondays too. They're cute after I get my Sunday nap.
Then it's like, oh, okay. Wonder Moore says she an all day girl. I can feel that. I can feel that. I wish I had that type of energy. So, Shalicia, tell us, as you went throughout your day today, what was the one thing that happened that made you go like, dang, like I'm really out here doing my thing. I'm really out here changing the world. Like, what was that one thing that happened today that made you realize that? And it may take you a minute to think about it. So I'm gonna let you think about it. And while she's thinking, everybody in the chat, I want you to just kind of think about that for a second. What is something that happened today, yesterday, that made you realize that you're really changing worlds? You're changing lives out here.
Wow. That's such a like an impactful question because I don't go through my day thinking about that.
That's why I said it might take
you gave me an extra day. So I will say yesterday, I had a good conversation with one of my close friends, and I feel like we both needed that conversation. We went to church together, and then afterwards, we just sat around and, talked and ate and talked about, just things that happen in people's lives. And she's always looks up to me, but I look up to her and she's like, you're just doing so many great things. And I'm like, oh my God, like, I think that you're doing great things. So, yeah, just somebody that I look up to. I like when I tell people, like I tell her every time I see her because she's going through a lot in life right now and she wears it with such grace and humility and she makes it look easy, even though I personally know it's not easy. So I was just like, I'm so proud of you. And she's like, what? I'm proud of you. And I'm like, I'm very proud of you. But yes, having people like that, friends in my circle who encourage me and keep me going is often what I need in this life. Mm-hmm.
Absolutely. And Shalicia, you know what's so crazy? When you think about changing the world, we don't often think about the small things that we do. We instantly go to the big things. Like I bet there are a couple people who are still thinking about that question, like, dang, what did I do to really change the world today? But a wise man told me one time, he was teaching about this, and I never thought about it from this perspective. He was like, it's not the big things that we do that impact the world. It's the small things. Like when we make a difference in one person's life, we empower them to make a difference in another person's life and to change another person's story and another person's trajectory. And in that person, so it's just that whole ripple effect. And it comes from one place. You just taking the time to talk to a friend who's going through a hard time. And now she's empowered to encourage somebody else and so forth and so on, right? And so that's the reason why I called you a world changer in our status today, because I truly believe that the book you have released around friendship has changed the conversation or either added to the conversation about friendship. So before we get to that part, I want you to tell us how I know how everybody else's life has been changed by this book, and we're going to talk about it, but how has your life changed since you became a published author? What has that been like for you?
It's been pretty surreal. I will say it's God's promise being fulfilled for me. So I'm not shocked. I will say I'm not shocked. I'm very grateful and I'm humbled. God always told me that he had great things in store for me. So it's just amazing to see where he's taking me, how he's taking me, and the route that he's taking me, because some things aren't necessarily planned for your life, but God always works them out to make sure that whatever you go through will get you to where he wants to have you in life.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. So what doors or what opportunities have you been like has God brought to you because of this book that's just been the most like mind-blowing, like, oh my God, I can't believe I had the chance to do this, or I can't believe I had the opportunity to do that. Like, what has been that thing for you?
There have been a few things. Most recently, I went to a concert with Fred Hammond and some other gospel artists, and I was able to get backstage and give him my book. And I was raised on Fred Hammond. Fred Hammond is one of my favorite artists. He is my
Yeah.
favorite artist, him and Kiera Sheard. And I was able to give him one of my books. And from growing up listening to him in commission, a lot of people don't know that he came from like I used to call them the gospel boys to men, but they can sing, and my mom raised me on them. So I went to a concert last month, and I was able to give him my book, and that was like really like, like
That is amazing.
that
Did
was
you get a
very
picture?
shocking. Yes, I did. I did get a picture.
Listen, immediately after this Zoom is over, I need you to send me the picture. I want to
Yes.
see it. I gotta
Yeah.
see that. So I heard
Yeah.
you say that like your mom, you were raised on this type of music, you were raised on this type of thing.
Mhm.
Take a second and just tell us a little bit about you, your life, your background, how you grew up, whatever you feel led or comfortable with sharing.
Okay, so my background growing up is quite the unique. I grew up a military brat. Both my parents were in the army. I was born in Germany, so I traveled quite a bit with my father and my mother. And on top of that, my parents were also preachers. So my dad is a bishop, Bishop Torbert, Huntsville, Alabama. He's starting his church next week. So if y'all in the Huntsville area, February 4th, first service for Bridgeway Christian Center. Okay, so I grew up with both my parents, a military background. As a preacher's kid, I went to quite a few. I went to a few elementary schools. Uh, I don't even know. I never counted it up. I went to a few middle schools, and then I went to two high schools. Uh, I just always been good with making new friends, and I have very unique experiences with the friends that I've had over the course of my life. Not all the friends I still have, but I've met so many different people. Like I have a wealth of people around me. Being from a military background, military families are often not isolated, but with no family. So your friends become family. I remember when I was a child, we were stationed in, my dad was a drill sergeant. Oh yeah, my dad was a drill sergeant too. That adds to it as well.
Yeah.
um, he was stationed in Fort Leonard Wood, Missouri, and they used to call it Fort Lost in the Woods because it was like so isolated. Like it was just isolated out there, and then it wasn't very, not many minorities out there either. So the people that we met while we were living there, they became like my family. Like my mom's best friend, Miss Belinda, she's like my auntie. Like military families are often very close. So I learned about friendship like very early on. And then on top of that, with my dad being a pastor, there have been many people that have come through his ministries that just stuck to our family. So they're like friends from all over the place who have become family. And that's like really something important to me because I really cherish good people, because my parents are good people. They've done so many great things for people. And I do believe that because my parents have been those pillars for many people within different communities that we've been in, that I get like God has blessed me in turn from being their child. And those people are there for me when I need them. Like I'm an adult now. I live thousands of miles from my parents, but I live places where my dad was stationed up here in the DMV area when I was a child. People looked out for me while I've lived up here. I have godparents who live up here. Like I just been blessed tremendously because my parents are good people. So I know good people. And that's one thing that's carried me throughout my whole life. And I constantly tell people that all the time. Like, I know good people, and people are, many people are negative when it comes to friendship and people. And I understand that because there are some terrible people in this world. But that's one thing that I do is I pray for discernment. Like, I pray I don't have those type of people around me. And if I do, I pray that I can love that out of them, because I'm a very loving and fun, and I'm just, it's me. So I try to love all of that out of people. And if I can't, then good riddance. Like, that's good for you. But and I move on. But I just know a lot of good people. And I'm like, I consider myself rich, very rich, because I have so many people around me that love me and constantly pour into me, and that make my life better when I feel like I'm in my low place, or just moving through life as I'm going through this journey that we all call life.
Absolutely. So, did you ever, what was your experience like with always making friends and then having to move? Like getting connected to people, then having to move, finding new people, then having to move again. What was that like for you? And what was your perspective of friendship at that age with all of that moving, if that makes sense?
I remember the first time a move affected me. I think I was like 6. And that was when we were moving from Fort Leonard Wood. My dad was being stationed at Aberdeen Proving Ground in Maryland. And it didn't affect me as much, but my mom, she always made it like, so my name is Shalicia, and I call people, so my family and my friends call me Shay. So every time when we would move, she'd be like, okay, so do you want people to call you Shalicia, or you want them to call you Shay? And it was always fun, like a new identity. And she'd be like, you can recreate yourself. What do you want them to call you? And every time I would always say, I want them to call me Shalicia. But then I get somewhere and they can't say my name, or they're having difficulty. And I just be like, okay, just call me Shay. Just call me Shay. We're just good. Just call me Shay. So it was always kind of like an experience getting to a new place, seeing new people, meeting new people. And as far as friends, I remember when I moved from Aberdeen Proving Ground to, my dad was stationed at Patrick Air Force Base in Florida. I was like so eager, like to stay friends with everybody. So I remember getting everyone's address, and as soon as because it was like so fun, like coming from Maryland, I'm like, I'm going down there. I'm moving to Orlando. It's going to be Disney World every weekend. Like, I'm going to have fun. The weather's going to be great. And there was this one thing, me and my brothers from watching Disney Channel, we used to always be like, oh, it's outside school. It's TV school, because all the schools in Florida are like outside. And we only ever saw that on Disney Channel, where you're eating lunch outside and your classes are outside. So I couldn't wait to get down there. And I bought postcards, and I sent them back to all my friends back in Maryland. And I was like, this is what my school is like. I go to a TV school. And I was just like so excited. And the beach is outside our back door. We went to the beach every day, like when we first moved there. It was a beautiful experience. And a couple of those friends I still keep in touch with to this day, thanks to Facebook and social media. But a couple of them did like mail me back letters for like a short period of time. And I was in 6th grade then. And then I was just couldn't wait to tell them, because I was in middle school up in Maryland in 6th grade. When I got to Florida, they put me back in elementary school, because 6th grade was in elementary school. And I was like, I was grown. I had to go to all my classes separate. And now I'm back in elementary school in a one classroom all day. I was so mad, but I couldn't wait to tell my friends that. So I remember that time vividly, because a lot of those friends are still like in my vicinity. And now that I'm back in the DMV area, I've reconnected with a lot of those people that I went to elementary school with. And it's been like a great experience. It has been.
I love that. So with how everyone sees and approaches friendship, I'm going to ask you something, because you said that even though in that season, y'all were close and stuff, and then you moved, and now, you guys are still connected. I want to ask you something. Do you feel as if friendships are seasonal? Like it's okay for friendships to be seasonal?
Yes, I do. I actually, I love the seasons of friendships, especially when they can move forward in a healthy manner. Like, I went to college. I went to high school in Vieira. It's like Melbourne, Cocoa area, Vieira, Florida, and I went to college in Tampa, Florida, and it was really close. It was only 2 hours away, but I was joking the other day, because I don't think I have I have like a few maybe associates from high school, but I don't really know anybody from high school. Like I was very popular in high school. I was a captain of the cheerleading squad. Like I did a lot in high school, but those friendships were seasonal, and I didn't really have the time in high school to season my friendships. For one, I wasn't really, I didn't go to parties, I didn't hang out. It's not like I was socially with those people. Those people were people I was with in school. So I didn't have time to develop those friendships for them to actually last. The friendships are the people that I do maybe see on Facebook every now and again from high school are people that connected with me either through like sports or through being a minority, because I went to a high school that was predominantly Caucasian. I think it was only 14 or 15 African Americans that I graduated with. So those people, we kind of bonded just from being the minority, but I really don't have a lot of relationships from high school just because I wasn't able to, as an adult, you're able to go to people's houses. I wasn't able to do those kinds of things when I was in high school. So I believe friendships are seasonal, and that's okay. That's like really okay. Even in college, everyone knows your college friends. They say that your college friends are the ones you keep for the rest of your life, but not that first year. Like you start to get smart, like past freshman year, you just fun, like just having fun.
Everybody's my friend.
Yeah. But I've always been very keen about the friends that I have. Like I've never been the type to just willy-nilly get bad crowds. I never had that. I just was very keen on and I always had a lot of associates. So I want to differentiate the term friends from associates, because I had a lot of associates, because like I said, I was the captain of the cheerleading squad, but I was very few, like literally like on one hand, who were actually my friends. And I always consider friends, even to this day, if you don't really know my family, you're not really my friend. Like we could be cool, but my family is like, me and my family is like that. So if you don't know my family, then you're not really my friend. And that's how it was for me with even my best friend. When I make other friends, if you don't know Angel, you're not my real friend, because if you close to me, that's somebody you should know. So I've always been keen to differentiate associates from friends, because associates it's not a bad term, but you're just not, it's okay. You're just not my friend, or you may have been a friend for a season and then now you're an associate season. So it's cool. You just got to know and differentiate.
That was a loaded statement. So I want to start with the part, because when you start differentiating and you're saying associate, you're saying friend, I'm like, yeah, we got to talk about that. Do you feel like, and I'm going to ask my part 2 question next. Do you feel like we give away the title of friend too loosely?
Yes, I do. I really do. Like, oh my God, I do. I was just yelling at my little brother about this the other day, because I'm like, these titles that people give out are just like, it's just everywhere, like literally everywhere.
Why do you think we do that?
I think it's like a sense of familiarity. If you see somebody all the time, then you assume they're your friend. And I've always been very picky about the friend word, because I remember when I was in middle school, there was this girl, and I was just like, she was my best friend. But every time she would talk to me, she'd be like, oh yeah, my best friend is my best friend that. But I know that she never referred to me as her best friend.
Oh my.
She had a million other best friends. And I was like, so what does best friend really mean to you? Like, what does that mean? And I just never liked how people just give people to me, it's an important title. I know it doesn't mean a lot to a lot of people, but to me, that's an important title, because I was raised on the Bible, and the Bible talks about a friend that sticks closer than a brother. If you're my friend, I expect you to be there for me in hard times. Like if you can't be there for me in hard times, then I'm not necessarily going to call you my friend. Like if my mama has a flat tire and I need a friend to go out there and change her tire, if you can't do that, then you're not my friend. And if I don't feel comfortable asking you to do that, then you're not my friend, because I feel like if you're my friend, I should be able to ask you to do something like that
You know what, Shay? It looked like you want to tap into that. So I'm going to go and set you free and let you go and dig into that thing. Because I was like, I'm trying to build this thing up, but she already tagging into it.
You can build it up. You can build it
Oh man, we're gonna have this conversation today because I believe we're gonna set a lot of people free as it relates to this conversation about friendships, especially in 2024. I'm hearing a buzzword. My friend and I were talking about it a couple of days ago. We're hearing this buzzword now about accountability, accountability, accountability. You know, who's around you in your circle, da 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 da. You know, so there are a lot of things, right, Shay, that goes into being a friend. I'm not gonna even if they want to know, they have to buy your book. Okay.
Yes,
But
buy
I
the book.
want her here. Look, my sister had, I feel so embarrassed. My sister has me saying her. Like instead of period, it's her. And I didn't know that. You know, I'm 33, so my sister is 26, 27, 28. And so she keeps me up on game. You know what I'm saying?
That's good, because I'd be out of it.
I was about to jump out of my professional bag and just say, you know,
Her.
okay. Y'all go buy this book. Look, I got mine right here. If I mess with it, I'm gonna tear the whole stand down. Okay, I'm trying to give y'all something to look at. Okay, go buy this girl book. Okay, but look, give us one thing that you feel like takes a relationship from being an associate relationship to now we friends. What is that one thing that bridges that gap? Give the people some kind of indication to know when an association or an associate has now become a friendship.
It's the personal thing. Once somebody does something personal for you, or they look out for you, or I mean, I left my lunch money at home and they look out for you. And not saying like if they're rich, of course that looking out for you don't make them a friend. But if they look out for you and they're in the same boat as you, that shows friendship. Like when I was in college, I had friends. I can't. I think my car got towed and it was $200. I was at a house party. My car got towed. It was $200, and I had to get my car, and that was all my little money in my bank account. So I didn't have no money. And I had a friend, his name was Demario Tobler, and he was like, you know what? They give out certain things. I know my church has, I think they had a food pantry or something like that. And he was like, I'm going to go over there now. And he didn't have anything himself. He didn't have nothing himself. But he was like, I'm going over there and I'm going to see. And he went over there and he came back with all these brown paper bags of random stuff. And I wasn't like the best cook then because it was my freshman year in college. I had to learn how to cook because I ain't had no money to afford a meal plan. So I had to learn how to use the kitchen. But he was a great cook. And he came back with, I think it was like 3 bags of just random stuff that they gave us from the church pantry. And he cooked it up and taught me how to make some things. And that was like where an associate becomes a friend, because I don't even think that he really knew me then. It was like, I think it was like my first semester in college. And of course you get to know people passing by and by or whatever. And oh, by the way, I went to the University of South Florida in Tampa, Florida. Go Bulls. Just want to shout them out. Green and gold. Okay. And yes, so that was kind of where a relationship would turn from association to a friendship, because he saw me in need, and it didn't take him anything to go do that, but some sacrificing of time. But he used his resources to help somebody. And many people are selfish. A lot of people are selfish. And I realize that people aren't good friends because they're selfish. It takes a good friend to be a selfless person to be a good friend. That's the type of person that is a good friend, is somebody who's selfless. And a lot of people don't want to put forth the effort to be that type of person. That's why their friendships are minimal or lacking. And a lot of people say, like, I only have 1 or 2 friends. And I understand that. That's cool. But some people say they only have 1 or 2 friends because they don't want to be a good friend themselves. That's why they don't have those friends.
That is really, really good. One thing I like about your book, even when I was thinking about it today, if you follow the traits of, because you talk about that, the traits of being a good friend, if you follow them, they not only make you a good friend, they make you a better person.
Yes.
And I just love that because it's kind of like a double whammy. You know, a lot of time we think about friendship in regards to, oh, what you're able to provide for a person, what you're able to do for them, what can you buy them, how can you put them on, can you put them on your platform, can you support them, can you support their small business and all this other stuff. But a lot of what it really takes to be a good friend requires you to be a good person, you know?
Yeah. And many people are opportunists. They think friends are there to do something for
Strong
them.
word, Shay. That's a real
Yes. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Opportunists.
We're doing it
That's
like that. Mm-hmm.
maybe I need to write a book too.
Oh, I hear it brewing.
But yes, I look at people's friendships. I analyze a lot of friendships. I know a lot of people, and they're just opportunists. They think that their friend is just supposed to be somebody to call on, or every time I have an issue, I just want to call and talk to you about it, but I don't want to hear about your issues, or I need a ride here. But then I have friends who didn't have cars. I was the only freshman with a car, riding in my car everywhere. As soon as they get their cars, we're no longer friends because they were just using me. They were just opportunists. And that's what a lot of people don't understand. Like you said, you have to be a good person in your heart to be a good friend. And like I can say, I know a lot of good people, and I consider myself a good person. I'm a very genuine person. That's why I kind of only attract people who want to be genuine or are genuine, because some people just can't be because it's not their nature. They have to learn those behaviors. And I've watched people stay around me for long enough and become genuine. I've watched that. But I'm a very genuine person, and I just always say, like, I always say, I'm prayed up, I'm protected. I pray all the time, and I be like, I tell people this, I probably shouldn't tell them, but I be like, okay, I'm one of God's favorites, so if you do me wrong, it's gonna come back and get you. And if you don't want to do me right, then kind of get out my face. Like, I don't have time to entertain people who are here for opportunity. Like, I'm not an opportunist type of friend. I'm the friend that's going to be there for you in the middle of the night. And I'm not the person that's going to talk about it, because there are a lot of people who may reach out to me or talk to me in a time of need, ask me to pray for them in a time of need, whom I know for a fact have talked bad about me or have talked to other people about me, but I don't ever turn them a blind eye. I don't do that to people. I don't do that to people. I just don't, because I really can. It's not, it's like God didn't even give me that bone to be hateful or towards people. And that's why I always say I keep my friends and associates on a different level, because it's easy to kind of get confused if you don't have the discernment. So I always pray for the discernment, because I know I forgive. I'm a very forgiveful person. I forgive people, but I also don't want to be too vulnerable as a friend to where people are running me over. And that's easy to do when you want everyone to be your friend, when you don't know how to differentiate the two.
I'm glad you said that, because you just said something a few seconds back. You said you've had people around you who were one way when they met you, when you guys became friends, and the longer they were around you, they began to adjust and grow and change. So I want to ask you this, okay? Because I feel like a lot of people struggle in this area, Shay, and that's what I've started calling you in the last couple of months. In our emails, I say Shay. You know, someone's gonna say Shay. Okay, you know I know your name.
Yes, yes, you got me.
So I think I think the reason why a lot of people don't have friends, and I can speak to this personally because I struggled in this area. I feel like a lot of times when we meet someone and we're becoming friends with them, and the first time they do something that's just like, you know, we cut them off, you know, we're not friends no more. And I know even for me, in the last couple of years, I've had to go back to some of the people and say, hey, I didn't handle that right, because I really didn't know how to navigate in a friendship when something was wrong. All I know to do is run and get away. But this is a real question. How do you know the difference between, okay, that offense kind of showed me that we shouldn't be friends, or hey, I just need to put a boundary here, but I'm still going to allow you the opportunity and allow us the opportunity to grow as friends? Where is there a line of distinction? How do you know if this is just an issue that just needs a boundary and some prayer, some space? Or how do you know that you just need to, hey, we need to cut this friendship out because it's not giving, and I needed to.
Yeah, that's a great question.
Somebody said it here, save, not solve. I think they were talking about something you said.
Yes.
Before, you know,
because I'm saved. I'm not soft. Don't get it confused. There is, you have to, for one, give people grace. People make mistakes. And for two, look at the intent of the heart. Some things, everybody's not going to be you. So for me, if I've had issues in friendships, I tend to get mad because I'm more vocal than 98% of the people. And if I have a problem, I don't mind coming to you with my issue, and I just want to talk it through to the end. So there's nothing else to talk about. A lot of people don't like talking. Like you said, they don't like confrontation. They don't want to go here, or they don't want to go there, or they think it might escalate or anything. So I can't expect people to be me when I feel that they have, wronged me or done something wrong to me, and I have to look at the whole situation as a whole. You kind of have to step out of your feelings, because your feelings might be hurt, but you kind of have to step out and look at it from their point of view. Like certain things, like I slept with your boyfriend, that's not forgivable, but something something like
My God.
but something like I forgot about my tire blew out and I didn't come to your birthday party. Those are things that you like. Even for me, if my tire blew out, I would fix the tire and I would head to the birthday party. But some people, once that happens, they just done with the whole day. So you have to look at the type of person that you're dealing with and use, like I say, pray for discernment, and you have to give people grace. Because I always joke about this post that I seen, and it was like, in regards to women, as soon as one friend does something wrong, they cut them off, they do this. But if your boyfriend do something wrong, you forgive him, or your husband do something wrong, or you just keep forgiving, and you let it's a joke, but you let guys run over you in college and do all this, and you continue to forgive them, but you won't forgive your homegirl who's been with you through thick and thin. And I always think about that, because we're so quick to forgive certain types of people, but we don't forgive the people who are really there. And it goes the same like with families too. Like you treat your family the worst sometimes, because you know they're going to always be family. And that's how sometimes people portray in friendships. They treat them just cutthroat, and you can't make any mistakes, and I'm done with you. And they don't take a second to analyze and give them grace. And I always tell people, like, put yourself in their shoes. And a lot of people are like, well, I wouldn't have never done that. And I get it, but put yourself in your shoes. Would you want forgiveness? Like, come on, like, you just have to, it's situational. You just have to give people grace. Like, and I've been ridiculed at times for giving people grace. And I won't say more grace than others, or just in general, but I'm, like I say, I'm a forgiving person, but I don't forget. I know who you are. I know what your tendencies are, and maybe you have changed, but I will forgive you. But there's just certain things that I won't continue to entertain. And yes, sometimes it is hard if you're dealing with like a significant other versus a friend, because that's a different type of relationship. But you just have to give your friends grace, because people make mistakes. Sometimes people aren't thinking, and like I said earlier, people are selfish, and it's okay to be selfish, but you just have to know where you're standing at with that person. Maybe they felt like what they had going on was more important than what you had going on, and the world does not revolve around you. And for me, I had to learn that, because my mom and dad raised me like the world does revolve around me.
Yeah. Yeah. And you know, Shay, I believe that even as you were talking, like there's some people who are watching us live and they're like, dang, you know, that's kind of stinging me. I know it's some people on who are kind of thinking about like, dang, the friendships that they got rid of, or the people that they didn't get grace, or even the people that they've been giving too much grace. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So with all of these crazy dynamics circling friendship, the challenges that are circulating, you know, around friendships, I'm not shocked that a lot of people our age group and older, they're kind of in this phase where it's like no new friends. If you were with me shooting in the gym, I don't need you in my life now. I ain't trying to make new friends, none of that. And even to my best friend, who I'm sure is watching, who is certain that she is my only best friend, and she's my only friend, period. Like I could tell her, like, hey girl, I met this new person. This is my friend. They ain't your friend. You ain't got no friends, Jessica. I'm your friend, right? Answer this, Shay. Do you believe that it is possible for people to make new friends? At this very big age, are we really able to still make friends?
Yes. So can you hear that dinging on my laptop?
Yes.
No. Oh my God. I just bought this laptop and I don't know. I don't know how to mute it.
I figured, I said she can't hear it because it's the fire drill thing. Like I'm pretty sure you probably have heard
Yes.
because I don't hear. I think you heard it for so long you don't hear it no more. My husband literally I get on his nerves because I will set 100 alarms, and if I'm asleep, I don't hear none of. So periodically I have to change my alarm sound because I just kind of don't get used. I kind of get used to it. So don't worry about the dinging.
Okay. I don't know how to turn it off, but
it's okay. It's okay. It's okay. So
okay.
People at this big, can we make friends at this big age, or is it still no new friends?
Okay, so that's like a mixture of a statement.
Okay.
It's a mixture because
break it down for us. That's what we're here for.
I'm trying to break it down appropriately. So I believe that you can make new friends. Like we said, some people are just there for a season. There's seasons to friendship. So obviously, if there's seasons to friendship, this season gonna end and this season gotta start. So you can make new friends. You just get smarter on how you make those new friends. You may have more criteria for how you make those new friends. If y'all read my book, I have 42 keys to how you make new friends. You probably didn't do that last time. So when you meet a new friend, you're probably going to go through all those keys and be like, check, do they do this? Check, do they do this? Check, do they do this? And that's probably a good checklist to making newer friends in this adult life of ours. At this big age, you should be vetting your friends a little bit better. So yes, you can make new friends. You just have to be a little smarter as you get older. And then also as your status rises, I know like a lot of very influential people, I think people consider me one. I can't have everybody near me. Like I can't be associated with everybody. And it's nothing against certain people, but I mean, certain things I'm just not going to associate myself with. And it's not against you. It's just, you just have to make sure that you're being mindful of the company that you keep. So that's what new friends looks like as you get older and older.
Absolutely. Y'all heard it here. You can make new friends. And I need y'all to stop subscribing to this no new friends thing. And the other thing that I like so much.
Let me say one more thing.
Go ahead. You
can have a new friend who do more for you than any of your old friends can do.
Bye, Shay.
I wrote about that.
You almost closed his laptop in your face. Please say that again.
I wrote about that in my book because I have new friends in my life who just drastically changed my life, did more for me than some people that I've known maybe my whole life or the whole time. So you miss out on your own blessing if you live by that no new friends mantra.
And I 100% agree. Like you can bring new people into your life and they add more connects, they add more wisdom, they add more health, they add more peace, they add more joy to your life, you know. And if we are all, and I think a lot of that is because we are creatures of habits. And I think the other thing too, Shay, is that once we get a certain age, especially when we're still single and just dating, I think our focus is not on making friends. We're more so concerned about finding a spouse and dating. So our energy goes into the dating scene and oh, it's time for me to get hitched.
It's hard to juggle.
You know, it is. And so my thing, that's one reason why I think you writing a book like this at a time like this, in a season like this, where friendships are not the conversation. Everywhere you turn is, oh, here's a get free, get single, stop being single class, and how to find your class, and how to be a Proverbs 31 woman. You know, now you can't even scroll on social media.
Everything is about relationships.
Woman, and I see the dating site things, like they come up on my page, they come up everywhere. Like There's so many dating apps. You can't escape it. Like it's dating, marriage, the desire for it's all around. And that's why I think that a book like this is not only so beneficial, but it's so bold because this isn't the conversation that's happening, but it's the conversation that's needed. So Shay, what gave you the guts? Like what made you even want to enter this type of conversation in a society that is not even thinking or talking about friendships and developing and improving friendships? What gave you the guts to write a book like this?
So you said something that I had to piggyback on real quick.
Do your thing.
As like we're getting older, I think there's like a Jay-Z lyric or something where he's like, the more successful you get, your circles change. The more successful you get, the circles change, or something like that. But that's the same with friendship. As you move up in life, your friends should be changing to encompass the things that you want in life. So yeah, I'm single and dating. All my friends might be single, but maybe when I get married, I want to have friends that are married. Not saying that you can't intermingle, but even like if I want to be friends, like when I have my kids, if I want to be friends with moms so we can go and do kid stuff together, like your circles are going to change and you're going to meet new people at different seasons of your life. So you have to really embrace that and not be the no new friends mantra, because different seasons in your life require different friends. You may keep some of them, but different seasons require different people. So on to your question.
No, that is good. That is good. And I'm a living witness of that. Even as my son has grown, like he's a teenager now. Now I need teenager mom friends, because why he waking up with an attitude? I'm about to knock him down. You know what I'm saying? No, don't do that, because he don't even know what's going on with him. It's called puberty. Just chill out. You know, you're right. You need different friends for different stages. Even as I am making changes within my business, now I no longer need, this level of business friends. I need friends that are on this. So yeah, you're absolutely right. As our lives grow and change, we need different friends and connections and associates to support us in those places. So and I think that's a phenomenal point to add. That's amazing. Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Okay, so your question was what made me write the book, right?
What gave you the guts to write a book about friends while everybody's trying to get a boo?
Yes.
Yeah, that's the question. Why?
That's good.
You got the audacity, the little boy, the real, anyway, I do that sometimes. What audacity to be talking about friendships?
Everywhere, like you said, it's everywhere. Like everyone's talking about relationships, and it's not, the fruit ain't showing. So I'm like, everyone's talking about relationships, but I don't see that much going on in that area. And I can't even talk about that area. So I'm going to talk about what I know about, and I know about friendships. So like I said, when I started off, I'm very unique. I know I have a lot of friends. I know a ton of people. I've been around the world. I've met a lot of people. I know friends. I know friends from the bottom to the top. So, and when I say from the bottom to the top, I mean from the poor to the rich, the famous to the not famous. I just know a lot of people. And then I had the bestest, like the best friend anybody could have. Like I had like literally the best friend, and her name was Angel Connor. And she passed away in January 18th, 2020. And when she passed away, I just felt like I lost so much. Like I literally felt like a piece of me, like a half of me died when she died. So it was really hard for me. And I was like, how can I keep this alive? Like, how can I share this with people? Because she was just like, she's the friend that people pray for. And I knew it when she was alive, and I'm grateful that I knew it, because, a lot of people say, I didn't even know what I had until it was gone. No, I knew what I had when it was here, and I'm so grateful that God allowed me, like, to see who she was while she was here. So it made me mad when she passed away that nobody could experience her anymore. Like they couldn't experience her love, her joy, all those things. I needed people to experience, to know like what I was blessed with. Like, how they say, like, how we say, Christians say, God is good and I want to share it with everyone. That's how I wanted to share Angel with everyone. Like she was amazing. So I wanted to share it with like everybody. So I just, there was a lot that went on in the initial aftermath of her passing on. Trauma, that she passed away in a domestic violence incident. So everything happened violently and suddenly, and court, just dealing with having to deal with all of that. And I couldn't remember a lot. Like in the initial weeks after she passed away, I could kind of still hear her, but then it hurt. It hurt like bad to remember. And somebody bought me a journal and they were like, you need to write down, you got to write down, just write down your good memories. I think I was in therapy and they were like, just write down your good memories and think about them. So COVID happened. I can't remember. I think COVID happened in March, and it was like a few weeks after I had just got back to work. Everything had settled down, but I was in like a very dark place, like very dark place. I was deeply depressed. I had lost 30 pounds in like 2 weeks. I just didn't know what was going on. Like I felt like I was in like a nightmare. So I just started thinking about the things that I could remember when good memories would come up. So I just was writing them down. And then I would write down little stories. And I was like, looking through pictures. And as I was looking through pictures, I started remembering, like my memory started coming back. And I was thinking about conversations that were had like in the back of the picture. So I looked at a picture of me and Angel. We were sitting in a casino. We were in Vegas, sitting in the casino waiting. We were going to the Michael Jackson Cirque du Soleil show, and we were sitting in the casino at one of the little slot machines, just waiting on the doors to open. And I looked at the picture in my photo album. I have a photo album, and I was thinking about, before I snapped the picture, how we was both so tired. Like we were tired. And I can see it in the picture. I feel like somebody else, if they saw it, they could probably see that we was tired in the picture. But I looked at the picture and I remember a conversation that was had right before the picture was snapped, of how she said she was sleepy and I got mad. And I was like, whatever, girl, if you don't want to go, you don't have to go. And she just looked at me like, I used to be doing a lot, and Angel would just sit there and look at me like, this girl's crazy. So then I was like, after doing all that tantrum, I was like, I'm tired too. And then I was like, she was like, see, you did all that, you're tired too. So then I was like, well, we here now. So, because we was just sitting there, we didn't even want to get up and go to the show because we was tired. So I remember that conversation from the picture. So I wrote down that situation and I thought about like what I could learn from that. And I was like, that's something, like friends should be able to be honest with each other. Like they shouldn't have to sugarcoat how they feel. Like she didn't sugarcoat how she feel, because I was tired too, but I didn't want her to be mad at me for being tired. So I just kept going on like I wasn't gonna pass out. We hadn't got no sleep the night before. Vegas is fun. Like I was acting like I wasn't tired because I didn't want her to get mad at me. But because she was honest with me, I could be honest with her. So I was just like, wow, that's something really important that I could learn. So as I started looking at these pictures, it seemed like every picture was screaming a story at me. Like I was remembering what was going on when we took that picture. And she took a lot of pictures. She loved taking pictures. She was beautiful and she loved taking pictures. So we got a lot of memories. So as I was looking through that, I was like, okay. So then I just started writing down different things. And I showed my neighbor one day, I think I showed her my journal and she was like, wow, Shay, like this could really be a book. And I was like, don't nobody want to read about me. Like, why would they want to read that? Like, that's like personal. And she was like, this could be, she said this book could change lives. And I was like, why would somebody want to read about that? So when she told me that, it kind of jogged my mind. I was like, okay, maybe it could be a book, but I didn't even know, like, at this point, it was just words on a paper. Like, I didn't even know, like, how, like, it was just going to be a chapter book. Well, like, what kind of book is this going to be? And I still didn't know. And I just kept writing over the course of the years. And we were going to court for custody of her son. We were going to court for the murder trial. I was checking on her mom, trying to make sure her mom and dad were okay. It was just a lot. And her mom is on here. Hey, Miss Gail.
Hey, Miss Gail.
And yes, so It was a lot. So I was still at like a mental fog. I was just in a bad place. And I was in that bad place for years. Like it happened in 2020. I didn't literally come out of it until November 2022. And I can tell you the exact date. It was November 10th, 2022. Right? What year is this? 2022. And that was when I kind of was like released from all of that. But before then, we went to trial. We went to court. It was in April, and they sentenced the person who took her life, the person who killed her. They sentenced him to life in prison. And when that happened, I went home and I just felt release. Like I just felt the release, and I was like, okay, let me look at this notebook again. And then I looked at it, and I was able to look at all the scenarios that I had and pick out something that was important that I felt like people should know about friendship. And I organized it in a way. And when I sent it to you, I had no idea. I didn't have a format, but I was like, oh, this picture reminded me of this. So I was like, okay, let me just send them what I think. I just sent you pictures and words, like pictures and words in the snippet of find friends who are there for you or who are down for you in a time of need. Like that was what I had. And I was like, when I stepped back, I wrote the whole book in 2 weeks. It may have been shorter than that, but by the time I sent it to you, like I think I sent you the book maybe like in May. We had just came from court in April. I was like, this is the book. Like this is the book that God gave me. And I was just happy that her son, I hadn't seen her son in a while. And I was happy that when he gets older, he will have a book that he can read about his mom. And I just wanted something out there to be permanent because many people pass away and it's like their legacy is gone with them. And Angel was like too good of a person. Like she was just, I mean, I know everybody is a good person, but Angel was an amazing person. Like, and I'm not being biased because she was my best friend. I got a whole slew of people who can vouch for me that Angel was an amazing person. And I just wanted her to be remembered because I thought it wasn't fair. And of course, it was not fair. Her life was cut too short, too soon by a coward who, yes. And I just felt like she needed something that she could live on through. And even after I'm dead and gone, that book will still be somewhere. And I want to make sure that somebody can pick it up. And I always tell God, if I can just reach one person, like just one, if I can reach one person and help one person, then I've done what I feel like I was put here to do.
Absolutely. And you have not just touched one person, you've touched hundreds and hundreds of people, and there are even more to come. And I just want to honor you, Shay, for doing this. Like your first book could have been anything. You're a brilliant young woman. You wear a lot of hats. You're involved in a lot of different things. You've had a lot of experiences that have taught you so much, but you honored your friend's legacy by allowing your first book to be a tribute to her and the beauty of friendship, which was the one thing that is binding the two of you together forever. Like the friendship that you had, the experience that you had. So I honor you. And we even take this moment now to honor the legacy of the beautiful Angel and everything that she was allowed to do in her time here. And even the little blessings she left in this world. There she is. The blessings she left in this world that's going to continue her impact. So I gotta tell you, like, I love the idea and the concept of your book. I did. But that was the piece that sold me more than anything, because our company is all about legacy. We're all about making sure that people leave their voice in this earth. And when you share her story, I was like, God, like the strength that this woman has to have to write a book on this level and constantly be looking at these pictures and you going through the edits, you rereading the story. I was like, God, she got to have some type of strength. But that was the thing that sold it for us. I'm like, we're publishing this. Like we're doing this because of the heart behind it. I think people the Bible speaks about that too. Like there's a lot of things that we can do, but there's some of it we just shouldn't do. This was one of those things that you just had to do. And I'm honored that you chose us.
Yes. And I'm grateful because I wanted to go with I wanted to go with a Black owned publishing company. And when you publish a book of someone, one of my close friends, I told you I know a lot of people. You publish a book of one of my close family friends, and he gave me your information, Mr. Kerry Warner. And I was like, oh my God. And she's a woman too. And I just really like to support my people. And I do want to kind of highlight the process that we went through to get this book published. We had a date that the book was supposed to be published, and it didn't work out. And during that time that it didn't work out was when I feel like God took me through a deliverance to be free enough. Like I think I just said the date was November 11, 2022. That was in the midst. I went to a prayer retreat, and this wonderful person, Alicia Owen, she ministered to me, and she really kind of helped me to be able to free like the bondage of grief and the things that were holding me down and keeping me from actually moving forward with healing and moving forward in my life. And after that happened, I think you were like, the book's ready. Like it was magically ready, but not magically, it was divinely ready, because I know that God was holding it off for a reason. And everything is in God's timing and in God's season. And yes, I just wanted to highlight that, because I know that there's some people who are dealing with certain things and they're trying to figure out, like, why God, why isn't this working? Why isn't it this? And even me, I'm dealing with some things now in my life. And sometimes we tend to question why, but a lot of times God, all the time, God knows. And a lot of times we need to keep that in mind, because everything is in his perfect timing and in his perfect will. And I can sit here and think that, oh, if it would have been out earlier, I don't think these things, but I'm just saying, if this would have happened, or I would have been on BET, or I don't know, something like, just everything is in its right timing. So I always know, for me in my personal life, every time something is in turmoil, something is going wrong, every time I feel like I'm at my end, my lowest point, God comes and turns it around and makes it tremendous, because I feel like only the things that are going to be great are going to struggle the way that they did, because I feel like there are different things that are trying to keep it from being great. And we know as Christians that the enemy will try to attack certain things when he knows that it's going to be great. So the whole process in itself of actually publishing this book was a learning lesson and a growing lesson for me, because I had to go, like you said, she must be a strong person. I was not. And I had to go through a litany of things to be healed, so that I can tell Angel's story without, boohoo crying my eyes out the whole interview and not being able to be audible or be heard. And it's still very emotional for me. I'm able to work through those emotions, and I could only have done that I couldn't have done that without God.
Absolutely. Well, you have been strong for us. You have supported us and made our lives better by publishing and releasing this book. How can everyone that's tuned into this live, how can everyone who is listening on Facebook, how can we support you? How can we be on the lookout for what's next? What is next? Just give us all the things. What can we be looking forward to, and how can we support you?
First off, prayers for Angel's family. That's like the number one thing. If you don't buy the book, if you don't support me, send up a prayer for Miss Gail. She has been through a lot. After Angel passed, Angel's son was living with Miss Gail, and custody was given to his father. So she lost not only her daughter, she also lost her only grandson who was living with her. And then last year on Angel's birthday, her father passed away. So Miss Gail has endured a lot. And she is just been kind of like the rock in my healing as I've been watching her deal with what she's been going through, because she's been through far more than I've been through. I've been through a lot, but she's been through far more. And that is the one thing that I just always want people to not forget: Miss Gail, the person who gave Angel her life. Because without Miss Gail, I wouldn't have had Angel. The world wouldn't have had Angel. We wouldn't have this book. So, yes. So first off, prayers for Miss Gail. That's my main thing right there, is Miss Gail. And she said, I was talking to her the other day, and she said, we talk all the time, middle of the night, all day, in middle of the day, it doesn't matter. And I forgot to send her a link to something, and she said it may have been this, and she said, you know, you're supposed to be taking care of me, Shay. And I said, my bad, I forgot. So I make sure that I'm going to take care of Miss Gail regardless. So yes, prayers for Miss Gail. That's how you can support us. If you would, the avenue to support the book, or like business, or where are we going with this question? I'm confused.
Girl, whatever you want the people to know about what you got going on and how we can support you, ma'am.
Okay. So I have a nonprofit that I started after Angel passed away, called Queendom Business. Like I said before, I am a Christian, and the Bible says, do I want to be about my father's business and it's kingdom business? But I'm a queen. So I got a nonprofit called Queendom Business, and we do outreach in the DC area, DMV area. And I host a lot of things for the youth. We work close in collaboration with the Job Corps of Potomac Mills. And I started this book club after Angel passed away, because a month before Angel passed away, me and her used to always say we wanted to have a book club. And we always used to be like, you know, the Stepford Wives, where we get like coffee and tea cakes, and we sit in the kitchen, in the living room in our heels, and all the moms come over and we read books. We always wanted to do that. So I had my first book club in December 2019, and we read his book called The 40-Day Prayer Challenge. And that was like a book by Pastor Mark Batterson, and it's like a really interesting read. It's not super religious, it's a great book, and it just talks about miracles happening in people's life every day for 40 days. And we read that book, and we were in the book club, and me and Angel was going through that book, and she was like, this book really changed my life. And it did change her life. And I think she passed away literally 3 weeks after we finished that first book club. So I started Queendom Business as just a book club. It was Queendom Business Book Club. And after Angel passed away, COVID happened. The world was in mourning. It was in a shutdown, and people needed a place to connect. So I started it on Zoom, and we would read like life-changing books and different books. And now it has formed into like a mystery book club, and we read a mystery book every month. But that's how Queendom Business started. Literally, because the week Angel passed away, she was getting on me because she said I had a voice, and she said people need to hear your voice. And I was like, okay, girl, well, ask one of your friends to give me. She was like, you need a YouTube channel. And I was like, ask one of your friends to give me a Ring camera or something so I can get this show on the road. And that was literally what she was telling me in the days before she passed away. So I wanted to honor her by starting the YouTube channel and continuing the book club. And it just turned into so much more that I never thought that I would be doing. And I'm grateful because, like I said, I like to touch people's lives, and I get to help the lives of children. I get to touch the lives and be a mentor to people at the youth center, or people who are going through hard times. And our motto at Queendom Business is to turn your pain into purpose. So I'm able to help people navigate through difficult situations in their life, because it's not just me who's going through something. Everybody is going through something. So it's just a safe space. Like, I do different events in the community, and you can find us on Instagram at Queendom Business. And the book is also on Instagram, Lessons from an Angel. It's the book title. It's on Instagram as well. And then my personal Facebook is The Friendship Chick. And that was the new name that I came up with after the book, because I felt like it was it just fit. It fit. So that's where you can find me. And the book is available on all platforms, Amazon. I just released the ebook on the anniversary. I wanted us to have something positive on that day. So we released the ebook on last Thursday. So it's out there, and I am working on the audiobook. So that will be out. Hopefully, I will plan to release that on Angel's birthday, and we will go from there. But yes, the book is on Amazon, Barnes and Noble, Target, Walmart. If you get the book, please leave a review, because I want to make sure Oprah or somebody see it. So leave a review, please.
Sure, absolutely. Well, y'all heard it. Make sure you follow Queendom Business on Instagram and Facebook. Make sure you follow the Friendship Chick on Instagram, and Lessons from an Angel, the actual book. You can follow that on Instagram. Okay. Y'all heard her. She said she got the audio book in store. Y'all ain't gonna have no excuses for not reading and listening in 2024. You hear me? I just want to thank you so much. We have gone way over the time, but it was with time well spent. And so I'm just grateful that you came on today, that you shared your wisdom, and you allowed us this opportunity to share with our followers just how dope and how amazing you are, and all the amazing things that you're doing. And I mean that from the heart. And we are definitely going to keep Miss Gail in prayer. Can't imagine, just can't imagine. And I actually, those of you who are tuning in on the Zoom live, we're going to come into agreement and cover her in prayer before we get done, but we're going to get off Facebook and do that. But I do just thank you so much, Shay, for supporting King Vision, for publishing with King Vision. And we're just honored to be able to say, we got you on our roster, baby girl. We're just honored. And I'm so excited about everything that God is going to do in your future. Like I told you when we talked last time, like, you have not even hit the cusp of everything that you're gonna do. Like, you're just right there on the edge. And when God just starts taking you the way He's gonna take you, you're like, whoa, but just know that when that time happens, you have been prepared, you've been trained for it, and you are ready. Okay. Just know.
Thank you for publishing my first book. That you guys are gonna always have a special place in my heart.
Absolutely. It was our honor. And to all of our viewers, thank you guys for tuning in. We're going to let y'all go to bed. If you're catching the replay, thank you for watching this long. Make sure you go to Amazon, Barnes & Noble online, Target online, Walmart online, and get this amazing book, Lessons from an Angel by Miss Shalicia Torbert. Okay. Make sure you grab that. Come back next Monday. We'll be interviewing another amazing best-selling KVP author. And I can't wait to tell y'all who it is. I kind of want to tell y'all, but I'm just going to wait till Monday. So make sure y'all come back, tune in, 6 p.m. She like, who? I'm going to tell you when we get out. Okay. It's got to be a
surprise. Okay.
Make sure y'all come back and kick it with us. And of course, if you are looking for amazing books to read, check out our Facebook, Instagram, at KV Publishing, and also check out our website, publishwithkvp.com. We have our entire catalog of all of our books. They're Amazon links. So if you're trying to get your reading up in 2024, we got you. Okay. All right. Y'all have an amazing night. Thank y'all for tuning in. And we'll see y'all next Monday on Mondays with the Maverick. Okay.
Thank you.